Hey, it's Reverend Stephanie Denise. I want to talk to you about empty nester in this season. It's so important that we, as empty nesters, grow and become who God has called us to be in this season. So many times we live our life for our children, right? We live our life for others instead of living our life for ourselves. We love our children and we sacrifice for them. And because we sacrifice for them and we nurture them along the way, there comes a point when there has to be a natural progression and a natural transition to letting them be the adults that God is calling them to be, right? And so it's really interesting. Here we are at the Christmas season. One of the things that I have always done for my children was to buy a live tree. Our trees are always, 7, actually 8 feet. That's right. Our trees are always 8 feet. So they're very near the ceiling. Once you put the angel up, or whatever the tree topper is, then you're hitting ceiling height. And this year was really interesting because this was the first year that my daughter and I negotiated about the tree. I wanted a live tree, but she wanted a artificial tree, right? Something that would last, something, right? And this is a decision that she's making as a young adult, right? Because she's out on her own, she's spending her own money, but yet she's home for the holidays. She's home for the next 4 weeks. And so to her, it made sense to get an artificial tree over a live tree, even though that had been our tradition. So that's one of the things I want to talk to you about as well. Traditions change as our children get older, right? So even though my daughter is home for the holidays, she still wants a tree like our tradition that we've always had, but she's wanting an artificial tree. Why? Because it will last longer than having a fake. I'm sorry, I mean longer than having a real tree, which is our normal tradition. So we go to the store to look for trees. And as we're looking for these trees, right? I see one, and it's like $99, and it's a 7.5 foot tree. And I'm like, oh, this will work. This tree looked ashy. It had no color. I mean, it was supposed to be green, but it was kind of like gray green, right? Because even when I was buying the live trees, right, they were around $100 for a live tree. And this particular tree, it was sad. It was artificial, and it was a sad artificial. So she looks at me and she's like, "Mom, really? Mom?" And I'm like, "Hey, it'll work," right? And she's like, "Hey, how about I go in half on the tree?" Ooh, I had to stop for a moment. I had to stop for a moment and grasp what she was saying. How about I go in half? Because this is something that she wanted, not something that I wanted, but that was a compromise and a negotiation strategy. And guess what? It worked. So we ended up with an absolutely beautiful tree. This is our first year of having an artificial tree. She decorated it. She did a beautiful job. Thank you, daughter. She did a beautiful job. And so, this tree will probably go with her when she officially moves out, right? Because she lives in the dorms now. But when she officially moves out, I'm sure this tree will go with her and she'll love it. So my point is, as empty nesters, things change. Don't get down on these holidays. Don't get down over the holiday season. There are people in our lives who are not here, right? My grandmother passed away earlier this year in January. So this is my first holiday without having my grandmother, and we were very close. And so one of the things that I did this year, I made my pecan pies. That's my usual. And I was kind of down a little bit and I was saying, we're not going to have sweet potato pie. But I went and I got some yams and I followed a recipe. It wasn't my grandmother's recipe, it was my grandmother's sister's recipe, my Aunt Lucille's recipe. Followed the recipe, and that I always date my recipes when people share them with me. That recipe was from 2000. This is 2024. I followed it and it was so good, you guys. It was so good. Those sweet potato pies were on hit. I was so excited. So, of course, my mother and my stepmother were here. Again, new traditions, right? Because 2 years ago, we lost my father. So, new traditions. My mother and my stepmother were here. And they were the ones. They had to test that sweet potato pie. And so when they tested that sweet potato pie, oh my God, they loved it. I got a pass. My mother was like, "Oh, there's no strings in it. It's so smooth." And I was like, "Yes." So I don't know if I was channeling my grandmother's energy or what, but for my first time making sweet potato pies, those pies were so good. So my point is, embrace this new season. Don't be down over the holidays. Be filled with gratitude. There is so much to be grateful for, right? If you have children, be grateful because children are a gift from God, right? If you have friends, be grateful. You only have to have one or two or three friends, right? You don't need a ton of friends. Be grateful for those relationships. If you have employment or finances coming in, be grateful. This season has been an awesome season. One of the things that my friend group did this season is we had a challenge. And one of those challenges were to bring in $10,000 in 30 days, right? And so I said I wouldn't share with you how the challenge ended um until you share with me how your challenge is going. But I'm so excited because I do want to share with you. I started this challenge on November 30th for the second time. And right now, I'm at about 4,357. And that has been a combination of Airbnb money. I got a random check for $302 today in the mail for some class action lawsuit that I don't even remember filling out the information for. So I will give you an update at the end on December 30th on how this has gone. But please share with me if you're participating in that particular challenge, how it's going for you. And be grateful. Gratitude opens up the floodgates for so much more. So if you have a home, be grateful for your home. If you have a job, be grateful for your job. Be grateful for your family. Be grateful that you woke up this morning. God has so much for us. As you wind up this year, definitely take time to make your gratitude list. Take time to be grateful for all that God has done. God is not through with you yet. God is not through with us yet. That is so exciting. That is so exciting. So know that the best is yet to come. Hold on. Hold on to the promises of God. Hold on. If you haven't been praying, pray. Take some time and pray and know that God does answer prayers. God knows what you're in need of. God knows that it may be a difficult season for you. God knows that maybe your finances are not quite the way that you would want them to be. God knows that you can use a little bit more love, a little bit more light in your life. But you know what? Whatever it is that you need, be that. Be that for other people. It's amazing. It's amazing how God works in our life when we could be the things that we need for others. Embrace being an empty nester in this season. Embrace the loved ones who have gone on, but cherish their memories. cherish their memories because we stand on those shoulders. And then where you have need, pray. And if you can, be what you need for somebody else. And it'll be amazing. I'm all over the map on this video, but I just wanted to come to you, just me, just talking with you. So many times when I come, right, I have the background of a teacher, I have the background of a preacher, former pastor, right, teacher for more than 25 years. And I often come with a script. I often come with my scriptures. I often come with my book list and my real time tips, but today, I just wanted to come to you authentically without all the extra and just share my heart with you. God is preparing a way for you. And if your back has been against the wall, just trust and believe before the end of this year, God is going to turn things around for you. And everything is going to be all right. I'm praying for you, praying that God will bless and continue to open up windows and pour out blessings that you don't even have enough room to receive, right? God bless you. I love you, and I'll talk with you soon.